Straw for bricks. Have you noticed that in these stories with the plagues, you have Moses first asking Pharaoh if the people could just go out into the wilderness and worship God and have a festival. And later on, he makes it very clear, no, we're going to leave, we're going to take our animals with us, we're going to take all of our children, our women, we're going to leave, we're going to be gone. So what's the difference? Well, in this case right here, he's just asking to go out into the wilderness for a festival. First of all, the Egyptians, they understood this. This was an easy thing to do. This is something they could do for their people, for their slaves, to encourage them, because they understood it. They themselves would go to a particular place that was special to a particular god, and they would have a festival, usually about 3 days, in a big circle and all this kind of stuff. They understood this, and it was reasonable to ask for it. It's like asking your boss if you could have Christmas off, or you could have something special for Easter. It was something that Pharaoh could do that would win goodwill. And when he would not let him do it, then the Egyptians knew, Moses knew, and all of Israel knew he wasn't going to agree to anything. The first thing that happened is God said, you throw down the staff, have Aaron throw down your staff, and it will become a snake. The significance of that is so important. You see, snakes were sacred to the Egyptians. They knew it was a position. It was a symbol of power. Even Pharaoh had a snake in his crown, the head of a snake, and this was a very important thing. And so consequently, the magicians, since this was so important, they knew how to take what looked like a stick and throw it down, and it would become a snake. With smoke and mirrors, they could do that. Matter of fact, some have said there's a particular type of cobra that if you put a pressure point near its head, especially from a distance, it looks like a staff. And then when you throw it down, the pressure point is released, and it becomes a snake again. I'm not sure if that's what they were doing, but they knew how to perform this trick. So when Aaron threw the staff down and it became a snake, the magicians just kind of smiled like, oh, you're on our turf now. We know how to do this. And they throw theirs down. But then it happened. Moses' staff, the snake turned and it ate the snakes of the magicians. That was significant. In Egypt, they had a symbol. It was a crown eating another crown. Whenever Egypt would conquer another kingdom, they used this to show that Egypt's crown ate their crown. So as Pharaoh was looking at what was happening, as the magicians looked at it, as Moses looked at it, and saw that Aaron's snake ate the other snakes, that implied that Israel would eventually triumph over Egypt. So important. This act did two things. First of all, it brought a lack of confidence to the Egyptians. The magicians looked at that. They were no longer cocky. Eventually, with the plagues, they would say, this is the hand of God. Pharaoh, when he looked at it, it shook him. He still wouldn't yield. It shook him. All of Egypt, even Moses, who had been raised in Egypt, knew what that meant. So the significance is key to the whole story. In this story, you see Pharaoh and Moses talking before this event, and you see with all the plagues, you see them talking afterwards. Beforehand, Pharaoh was saying, I don't know you. I don't know your God. To me, you're just Hebrews. You two, along with everyone else, need to get back to work. He was looking down at them with disdain. Afterwards, he talked to them as equals, as someone that needed to be reckoned with. God said, I have made you like a god to Pharaoh, and Aaron is your prophet. But you see, Moses, beforehand, he had no confidence. He was saying to God, I'm not up to this. I mean, Pharaoh's not going to listen to me. Even the Israelites don't listen to me. I don't know if I can do it. God said, don't worry about that. Just go in there, throw the staff down, and I'll take care of things. Afterwards, you see a Moses that walks in before Pharaoh with authority. He knew not only what his God could do, but he saw for himself what God was going to do. He was going to devour Egypt. Well, come back when we give you more insights on these wonderful stories of Moses.